Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Blissful Living Podcast. This is the Queen of Feeling Fabulous, Rochel Marie Lawson, and I have a wonderful guest with me today. And, I think what really makes this guest special is she is a woman veteran. And if you know me and if you've been watching things about me or seeing stuff, you know that I hold the Brave, Bold, and Unstoppable Women Summits. And part of the proceeds from those summits goes towards supporting our women veterans. So it is always my honor and my pleasure to have one of our women heroes, our forgotten heroes, with me so we can have this nice conversation about setting healthy boundaries. So, okay, tickler. I'm not going to tell you her name yet, but that's a tickler. But before we get started, let me take care of some business. So, I like for you, as a Queen of Feeling Fabulous, I like this to be a fabulous time for you. So I want you to find a place to sit, get something to write with, get your favorite beverage, water, tea, smoothie, green juice, coffee, whatever it is, and tell your family to give you a few moments, because for the next 30 minutes, you're going to want to be tuned in as to what my guest has to share with us regards to setting healthy boundaries. And you're going to want to capture some of those nuggets of gold so that you can incorporate them in your life immediately. So while you're doing that, I am going to thank our sponsors, Blissful Living For You at Blissful Living, the number 4, the letter U.com. They have an abundance of things to help you with your wellness, wisdom, and wealth so that you can unlock bliss in your life and live the life and have the life of your dreams. And of course, part of that is they hold summits, and the Brave, Bold, Unstoppable Women Summit coming up in Washington, D.C., Atlanta, and San Francisco. That information is available on that site as well. So go check them out. If you have not already, go check them out. And if you're interested in attending the summits, I say, get a ticket. Get a ticket. Just come to the summit and just get a ticket. You're going to be amazed and transformed with the experience at the Brave, Bold, Unstoppable Woman Summit. Okay, the next sponsor I want to thank is All Day Cable Incorporated, a telecommunications installation company, woman-owned, minority-owned, and a premier telecommunications installation company located in the heart of Silicon Valley. Been in business since 1990 and continues to command the telecom installation arena. They install voice, data, fiber optic cabling, wireless access points, modems, router, anything for your network distribution so that when you pick up or make that connection, you make that connection right the first time with your customers and those that you serve. They service small, mid-sized, and large corporations and minority-owned, woman-owned business. So if you're in the need, take a look at All Day Cable Inc. at All Day Cable Inc. Reach out and give them a call. They have 5-star ratings for all of their customers. All right, so let me just jump right in to the guest. And she is definitely, y'all, a brave, bold, unstoppable woman in her own right. Now, let me tell you about my girl here, Renee Jones-Hudson. Now, check this out. She is a retired Army captain. Bam, right there. I'm going to just stop right there. Did y'all hear me? I said a retired Army captain. And, if you retired from the military, you had to put in at least, I believe, 20 years. So she's a retired Army captain. She's a life and health coach, and she is a speaker. And so we are going to talk about setting healthy boundaries. And so, Miss Renee Jones-Hudson, welcome to the show. It's a pleasure to have you.
Thank you. I'm excited to be here.
Look, y'all. She's shy, and I know, I ain't gonna let that happen. I ain't gonna let that happen. She's a retired Army captain, okay? Come on now, she's commanding people and telling people how to act and what to do and all that. And she's so shy and demure, but that's okay. Because she's a beautiful lady, and we just want to, again, I personally want to thank you for your service, your commitment, your dedication, your persistence to pursuing that career, because I know it wasn't an easy journey. But it brought you here to us today, and we are very grateful to have you. So I want to jump right in. Your personal journey as a female veteran and the experience that shaped your military career. What can you share with us what some of those are, particularly your journey as a female veteran?
So I joined the Army in 1995. I think I was 18 going on 19. And personally, when I joined the Army, it was, I migrated from Jamaica when I was 14 or 15. And then I joined the Army at 18. And what brought me to the Army was just, misinformation. I just wanted to go to college. And, I was told that I couldn't go to college because I wasn't a citizen, right? So we know that's not true. But that's where that's where my path led. And I'm going to say this: overall, my time in service has been great. Not it's not without its share of ups and downs, but it's what really molded me into the person that I am now. I've met many great leaders, I've had not so good leaders, but I wouldn't change it. I wouldn't, I don't have any regrets. It's really, really helped me to even now as older, retired, helped me to look back at some of the things that I did push through, things that I probably wouldn't have attempted to do, or so just knowing that I have so much more in me. The Army helped me tap into some of those areas of my life, that I would have never even I wouldn't even consider. So my personal journey is, I like I said, I wouldn't change it. It's been a blessing.
I mean, I love that you're sharing that, because even not, civilian life, when you have a job, because
Yeah.
basically once you get through boot camp, it's just you have a more regimented life, but you get
Yeah.
up, go to work, you come home, right? Okay.
Yeah.
Even in civilian life, um, you have those challenges,
Yeah.
but I think, and I'm not sure, I don't know, I'm just maybe making an assumption, but in civilian life, you have the option that you could quit that job and go find another one, go to a
Yeah.
whole completely different company. However, I think in the enlisted services, you can't necessarily do that, correct?
No, not without consequence.
Right, right.
And
So,
it's a big
um,
price to pay too.
I bet, so it
Yeah.
makes it helps you to, I think, to be more disciplined, and I
Yeah.
think
Yeah.
have maybe even more emotional intelligence, because you have to deal with that.
Right.
It's a little bit more rigid for you all in the military. So thank you for sharing that. Now, um, what you say unique challenges that female veterans face? Particularly, I'm going to start. What are some of the challenges that female veterans face in the military?
Well, I would say some of the challenges we face is not getting our respect. It doesn't matter. Um, and I'm gonna talk just from a female perspective, and I'll touch on the immigrant side of it, being an immigrant
Oh,
female
right.
in the military. But just female in general, it's not really being taken seriously. It's always a stigma sometimes, and having to be somebody that you're not. So if I'm just a calm, mellow person, it's almost like in order for me to get the respect that I want, I have to act manly per se. Like I had to act out of character. And that wasn't something I really cared for. I didn't I Why can't you just respect me as I am? Like I don't want to yell. I don't want to scream. I don't want to, I don't want to conform or be something that I'm not. Um as far as like our, we all have to go through different levels. We have to go through training to get to the next level in the military. And sometimes, even when we achieve certain levels, we still don't get that respect. So it's not to say that it's different from, corporate or anything, but because it's such a smaller container. I mean, when you look at it
Right.
in retrospect, it's a smaller container. So a lot of times there's a misconception that, oh, we have the ultimate respect, or, we get that from civilians, but we still have to fight. That's a fight. We have to fight a fight to get the respect, to get, to basically, sometimes we're equal to or better. Most of the time we're equal to or better than the next person, or our male counterparts. So it's always a challenge, in some way, shape, or form. There's also the challenge of, just being harassed, you know, as females. Don't get me wrong, there are males that are harassed and, traumatized and sexually and all that stuff. But, primarily it's women, and being ostracized and stuff if you stand up for yourself. So, I mean, there's so many different challenges, and it comes with, it can come with any situation.
Wow, interesting. I have a few family members as well as friends, ladies that are female veterans, and the stories that have been shared it's very enlightening.
Yeah.
You know, it's not to put a bad light on it, because it does happen in corporate America as well. But I think, again, because the container is a lot more restricted,
Right. Right.
I think it's not addressed as often, and it's just that's just the way it is. You know what I mean? It's
And
big.
there's a thing about, we're supposed to be tougher, stronger, more resilient. And, the more you get into leadership, like as I climb the ladder, there are times that I didn't want to show that, oh, I'm stressed out, I'm struggling, because I had deadlines, I had soldiers to take care of, I had a company to lead. So, in those situations, if we're struggling with something, PTSD, just life, we don't get to show that, not that we can't. It's just, for some of us, we think it's going to come with some price, some form of, price. So it's not as simple. And I won't say, I will venture to say that just leadership in general, and I think it's changed over the years. I think we're more understanding that, leaders, we need a break too. We got to take a rest, we got to set boundaries, we have to take care of ourselves, because in order for us to take care of the masses, we have to be able to lead. And I think the best form of leadership is knowing how to lead yourself, knowing how to manage your own self.
I
So
love that nugget of gold right there. So often we don't even think about ourselves with regards to managing our own selves. And,
yeah,
throughout the process of the day, there are many instances where we have to manage ourselves. Some that just, you don't even realize it. And others, it's like, wait,
yeah,
sometimes we don't manage ourselves very well. You know what I mean? But in the context of that, we're so busy sometimes helping others. So I can see, like, within the military, the same thing. But
yeah,
if you almost as if you take the time to spend to manage yourself, then you're looked upon some kind of way,
right, right,
as not being that strong,
right.
masculine aspect of a female that you should be in the military or whatever. I don't know.
And I will say this, it's not so much that how you're going to be looked upon, is how you see yourself, right? Because I'll speak for myself. I felt like I couldn't take the time, because I didn't want the ball to drop. And it wasn't, it's not that I didn't have competent, subordinate leaders. It's just, in my mind, if I take off and something goes wrong, so it's almost like you need the permission. You need
Mhm.
the permission from leadership to say, you know what, it's okay. Everything's going to be fine. Take some time, because sometimes a lot of times we're more harder on ourselves than, leadership would be on us. But they can reinforce, the fact that, you know what, it's okay. Just let us know it's okay. I need you to take time, because I need you at your best self. I need you at your best self, so that we can, this mission can go smoothly. And I think that just comes down to communication, understanding who you're who the person is, understanding how they operate, how they need to what they need to be at their best so that everything can go smoothly.
Wow. I like that. Again, words of wisdom and nuggets of gold. Now, with regards to transitioning to civilian life, it is my understanding, and I got this information from the Women's Veterans Alliance out in Sacramento, California, that women transitioning from military to civilian life actually have a very difficult transitioning phase, transitioning period. Very, very, very difficult. And one of the reasons that was told to me was because they lose their support. The support that you have in the military, you no longer have that quote unquote support when you transition into civilian life. Can you speak a little bit about that, or enlighten, the listeners and the viewers with regards to some of the difficulties that are inquired when you transition from military to civilian life?
I can definitely speak to that.
Oh, girl, lay it on us. We need to know this.
I can definitely speak to that. When I retired from the military, I went straight into opening my own fitness studio. And I literally just I didn't know, I had no business knowledge, didn't know anything. I was just working off of my experience from the military. And that took me it I was successful in doing that. However, the support, I didn't know where to turn. I didn't know what questions to ask. I didn't know who to turn to. um I didn't understand the business lingo. One of the things that I wish that I had when I was going through the transitioning phase in the military, what I don't remember anything talking about becoming an entrepreneur, anything. It was more geared towards you getting another job after you left the military, but that was not the path that I took. So I went straight into owning a business, and it was initially, like I said, it didn't seem like it was going to be much, but as the business started to grow, and I'm learning, okay, you're literally just doing this like all on a whim, and not understanding networking and collaborating and even just business systems. No, I literally had to learn that on the go. Thankfully, I had my clients were professional clients, so I had a lot of entrepreneurs as clients, and they were the ones like guiding me through. I joined networking groups based on their recommendations, and then I just had to. It was literally on the job training. So, and then being female too, a lot of times I'll speak to myself, not so much that it's hard to ask for help. You just don't know who to ask for help, right? And especially when there are not very many females to say, hey, how did you do this?
Right.
It's kind of difficult because I feel like the path is different for men and women. It really is. So not having someone that looks like not just as in skin color, but just as a female, not having that familiarity to turn back to, or to reach to, is kind of difficult. I struggled with that portion, especially coming out being an officer, and having all these skills. The knowledge that I possessed didn't translate
Mm,
to civilian, or
right.
I just didn't know how to. I didn't know how to convert it. Right? It's like currency. I have all these currency, but I don't know where to go change it.
Right.
So that was a struggle. But I won't say it was a struggle. It was just more work. It was just more challenging, and I feel like, had I gotten at least something towards entrepreneurship, as a because we go through a transitioning program as
Okay.
we're
Yeah,
right.
I
So
didn't know that. I didn't know that.
right. So yeah, they don't just put you out. It's literally, I know when I was getting out, it's a 2-year program.
Oh, okay.
Right, before you transition. I was a company commander, so I only had 9 months just because work I was just working. So 9 months, but you still it's literally a transition. But I feel like what was lacking was more education on entrepreneurship at the time that I was transitioning. And I don't know if it's changed, since I've retired, but I think that for me would have been very helpful.
Right. Wow. Interesting. I didn't know there was a transitioning program
Yes.
because time and time again, when I speak to women veterans that have retired or, gotten out of the military, it was that they had extreme difficulties transitioning for whatever reasons.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, so,
You know, in fairness to them, when I was going through that program, it was a lot of information. And I guess that's why they stretch it out. So like I told you, I only took 9 months, right? 9 months, it's information overload. It's a lot. They're giving you a lot of resources. No, not. I thought the information was great. It's a lot.
okay.
It's overwhelming. It's just too much at once. And everyone cannot use that 2 year period. Like myself, like I said, I was a company commander, so I couldn't just, I could, but I also had a company that I had to take care of. So,
Right.
my priorities were split, whether I take care of myself or I have to take care of these soldiers. So, but we're all not in a position where we have that 2 year span to actually go through the program, but you have to go through the program.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. I get it. Okay. And very interesting. I didn't know. See, you learn something every day. It enlightens your mind. You just like you just never know. And the more we learn about it, the more we can be educated on how we can help our fellow female veterans just have that smoother transition and provide what we can to help them step back into civilian life gracefully. Okay, so I want to ask you, let me see, because we're running out of time. It's so much. Let me let me see. Um, so here's one. What are some of the key strengths and qualities that female veterans bring to the table, and how can they be harnessed for success in various fields? And I think that's important for those watching and listening to know.
Definitely, yes. So leadership is a big strength. Um, we're dependable, right? Accountability. You can also responsibility, right? Resilience. Um, just one of the other things, we great problem solvers, right? Especially, if you've done 20 years, you've been in leadership roles, right? So it doesn't matter if you're enlisted or an officer. If you've done 20 years, you've been in positions where you had to lead. Um, the biggest thing that one of the biggest things that we're talking about is diversity, equity and inclusion. I think
Yeah.
female leadership, the military is a melting pot, right? We people from all walks of life, different cultures and everything. And that's, just learning how to communicate, understand, each other's differences, and just bring people together. That's a really great strength that I think we possess.
I like that. Okay, so anybody watching, listening, if you have a female veteran that comes into your office and applies for a position, just know that she's going to come with those characteristics, particularly if she's retired from the military, because serving that amount of time, most definitely that lady has had to serve in some leadership roles and could probably bring to you something that you don't even know you need.
Yeah.
Help your company or your business or themselves really grow and accelerate and really have that smoother transition back into civilian life. Okay, so the last question, because the title of the show is Setting Healthy Boundaries. So I guess we should talk about that. So, as a retired officer, from the military and as a business owner in civilian life, what is a negative goal that you would like to share? Because we kind of had talked about setting healthy boundaries with regards to, taking care of yourself in the military and
Yeah.
nourishing yourself first. But to close it up, what would you say? What advice or negative goals would you like to share with regards to helping us ladies and gentlemen learn how to set those healthy boundaries?
Yes, definitely. And this is something that practicing daily, and is honoring myself, honoring my body, honoring my mind. And what I mean by that is, if you're tired, take a break. If you're lacking sleep, sleep. We need to eat, because everything plays a part in our overall well-being, right? Eating right, exercising, sleeping, learning to say no, cutting out negative energy. And it's not just people speaking negative to you. It's the things that you're listening to, the way you're speaking about yourself and other people. It's just embracing, things that are more aligned with who you want to become. So basically for me, it's just honoring myself, honoring what makes my soul feel great, what makes my body feel great, what elevates my mind, what's easy. Everything doesn't have to be hard. We have this thing where we have to struggle, it just has to be hard. It's just, you know yada yada yada. But it doesn't have to be just honor those things that are easy.
I
So
love it. Thank you. Thank you so much for sharing. Okay, you all, there we have it. Retired Army Captain Renee Jones-Hudson. She shared some wisdom with us, and she really did help enlighten and educate us more about our female veterans and the whole being in the military, and a little bit about what goes on, the mindset with regards to one, setting healthy boundaries and taking care of themselves, or taking care of ourselves first. Very important information. And she has had the experience. She's led soldiers and had responsibility beyond what she probably ever thought she would have had when she entered into the military, but at the young age of 18 or 19, right? But it's been a beautiful conversation, and I've been enlightened. And so thank you so much for, one, being here, two, for your wisdom, and three, for serving our country and making that sacrifice for 20 years. I definitely appreciate it. And I know those watching and listening will too. So comment.
Thanks for having me.
You're very welcome. Okay, so there we have it. That is the ending of the show. Check out Blissful Living for You at blissfulliving4u.com. Really go to the events tab and check out the Brave, Bold, Unstoppable Women's Summit, because again, part of those proceeds from that summit goes towards supporting our female veterans. And some of them need a lot more help than what we talked about on the show today. So check that out. And plus, you can learn how to build and expand your business empire if you attend one of those events. Lots of words of wisdom for anybody, either transitioning from career to entrepreneurial or up-leveling their entrepreneurial game. There'll be lots of words of wisdom and nuggets of gold shared at that summit. So check it out. I want to thank All Day Cable Incorporated at alldaykableInc.com, a premier telecommunications installation company, woman-owned, minority-owned, and they can serve your needs when it comes to network distribution. Small, medium, or large corporations, you will not be disappointed because they make the connections right the first time. And to all of you, if you like the show, please subscribe to the channel, subscribe to the show, share it with everyone you love and care about. The more we can get this information out, the better we can make the world to become a better place than what it is today. We're always striving for improvement, because we know our world needs a lot of improvement. I guess I'll just say, this is the Queen of Feeling Fabulous, Rochel Marie Lawson, wishing you peace to your mind, wellness to your body, and tranquility to your spirit. Until next time, be healthy, wealthy, and wise. And goodbye for now.